and welcome to the latest edition of the Gutsy podcast. Brilliant to have you tuning in as always. If I can ask you one thing, I don't ask for much. Can you subscribe? So whether it's YouTube, Spotify or Apple, hit that button and subscribe now. That really, really helps us out, and it gets you up to date with all the latest information first. So big plans for the future. You might get some unique content in there as well. So that really helps us out, and maybe one day we'll be able to monetize it. So that would be really good. But also, it helps us grow our audience, listeners. So thank you so much. It's been a busy few weeks, as always. It's been a crazy summer. I hope some of you guys have seen Oasis. I was lucky enough to see them on Friday. It was fantastic. And it's been pretty good. We've got lots of stuff coming up with Foundation. What have we got just now? We've got It's a Knockout in a few weeks. So if you would like a team in for that, we would absolutely love to see you take part. Greg, in fact, I think you guys should put a team in for that. A G4 Claims team. We're looking for somebody to take the Wooden Spoon Award. And if it's any incentive for the first time in 12 years of actually doing this challenge, good fun day. My team are the champions. The champions. So defending the title. Lots of people are signing up just to beat me, basically, to be honest with you. And who can blame them? We're also putting together quite a large team for the Great Scottish Run. So if you're up for doing a 10k, up for doing a half marathon, we would absolutely love to have you there. You don't need to be an athlete, you just need to want to take part. We're, as I say, we're hoping to get a record-breaking team in there. So we would love to see you join us. That's not till October, so plenty of time to train. Couch to 10k, couch to half marathon, whatever. Or if you take it a bit more seriously, charge on. We would love to see you. But we're not here for that. What a guest we've got today. What a guest. CJ Hoey, or Cammy to his ma. I love before when we prep the show, we sometimes have a chat, but CJ has he's written everything down, and it's absolutely phenomenal, and he has titled it Shits, Giggles and Adventures, the CJ Hoey colonic novel. So CJ, welcome to Gutsy. How you doing?
Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
It's brilliant to be here, and I have to say, as the best groomed guy in the history of the universe, phenomenal as always.
Thanks very much. Try my hardest.
Did you put a lot of effort? Type like 4 o'clock this morning to go up to you look that good.
4 o'clock. Haircut, beard, cold shower, plunge, half marathon. Just the usual. This is
something tells me this is true. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. Aye. Busy, man. Busy. But
you're always a busy guy.
Yep.
Now, you had a certain milestone yesterday.
I did. Aye. 26 out of 100, still a stunner.
The ripe old age of 26 years old.
The ripe old age, 21 plus 5.
What a paper round.
I know.
What a paper round.
I've looked about 40 since I was about 18. That comes with its positives and its negatives.
Were you getting into dancing when you were 11?
Aye, more or less. I used to like work it out. So I used to go to the pub when the football was on, the Champions League. So when you went in for the game starting, the bouncer hadn't started yet. So I used to go in and watch the games, but then on the way out, always make sure I had a conversation with him, go to introduce myself, whatever. Then when I turned up my Saturday night at 10 o'clock, it was, CJ, how's it going? It was never, have you got your ID? So.
Well, don't try that at home. I think it's sound advice, to be honest with you. Like a great tactic. And what happened for your birthday? You doing anything special?
I was working yesterday, so I was at work and went out for a nice meal and stuff last night. Back in, I celebrated the weekend there. I was at Oasis as well on Friday, and then just kind of dinner, drinks with mates on Saturday.
You mean you could get out of your bed?
Aye, I could.
Fair play. It
was some gig, wasn't it?
Aye. I mean, I kind of, I've always loved Oasis. I've went to see them since the 90s, before you were born. But I didn't want to get carried away and sound like a fanboy.
Aye.
And
you were?
And I honestly, I thought it was absolutely incredible. I thought it was 100% the best I'd ever seen them. And I thought the crowd were great. The vibe of the crowd. It's very much a nostalgic event, and it's lovely to see, people taking their kids and all that kind of stuff like that. That's nice. So the atmosphere, the total vibe about it, the support acts phenomenal as well. Casting Richard Ashcroft. Where were you standing? Were you in the stands?
So I was in the stands, but I was like fourth for the park, just looking like right at the stage. So it was brilliant. But I got my ticket on Friday morning. I didn't know I was going.
Really?
Aye.
Wow.
I picked one up 10 o'clock on Friday morning.
Where from?
Just like a resale website, just like via Google. I got a text for my mate.
They were quite naughtily priced, weren't they?
We weren't too bad.
Oh yeah?
Aye. To be fair, we paid 250 quid.
Wow.
But
that's good.
The day of, everybody we spoke to was like, you've paid less than me.
Oh, definitely.
It's mental.
Definitely.
But, no, it was worth it. It was good.
Aye, it was good. And did you get through Edinburgh early and soak up the atmosphere? Or?
Because I didn't know I was gone, like I had to work first. So I just finished my work, went straight through from Glasgow to Murrayfield. And
brilliant.
It was brilliant. It was great.
Good. We were... myself and the long-suffering wife Jules were contemplating going last night. So last night Tuesday. I mean, this will go out later, obviously, but we were contemplating spending money that we didn't have to go again. And then I realised I had a board meeting, so that's that kind of bombed it out and saved us quite a few shekels, because the price I was watching the prices on Viagogo. And they just went up and up and up and up. And I was thinking, you wouldn't even maybe balls of steel, because somebody would have tickets left and they would drop.
Yep. I think that's what happened with us, because someday we got two for, like I said, 250, and then a couple of years later somebody asked us, we were about, we got them for, they went on, it was 500 for the same section.
Well, it's different people that are selling them into it. So
it's mental.
So I think... it was amazing, but I think it was a bit of a cultural phenomenon. It was brilliant.
Aye.
And I think I seen a post and I really liked it. I think it was a good friend of mine, John McLeish, that put it up, and it's the first time we've actually had any decent patter. But he put up "Believe the hype."
Aye.
Believe the hype, because I mean, if you want if the build up and all that kind of thing. There was plenty, but it was true.
Aye, it was true. It was true, and like there were so many different types of folk there, and everybody was just brought together. Everybody just felt the same. You could feel it.
Yeah,
it was mental.
And I think it's only right. You're a guy living with IBD.
Yep.
How did that work for you at the gig?
No great, to be honest.
No.
By the way, obviously you would have seen it yourself. The gig itself was phenomenal, but like say Murrayfield, it was an hour for the toilet, it was an hour for a pint, it was an hour for scran. It was busy. So I'd say to somebody, I carry a wee card about with me, like say can't wait, whatever. IBD, and I'd say to a woman standing at like an accessible sort of door, I said, have you got an accessible toilet? She says, aye, it's up the stair. I thought, right. So I ran up the stair.
Dead accessible.
Aye. So I ran up the stair, and it was just like guys, ladies, accessible. It was just basically the exact same kit out as a ladies' toilet. So the queues were just, everybody was just going into that day. So there wasn't. So I had to like leave the stadium, run right round until I could find like Portaloos, the furthest Portaloos away that didn't have any queues, and then try and run back to my seat for Oasis starting. So in terms of that, wasn't great, but I just quite lucky, just timed it quite well. Like whenever we were in a place before, we went to Murrayfield, just make sure I went to Lou, and then made our way there, went to Lou, and then after Richard Ashcroft and Oasis, there was a wee break, and just made sure I went there, and it was just all about kind of planning it. But the actual setup wasn't, I didn't think was fantastic.
No, I don't think it was fantastic for regular people.
Aye.
I'm not in love with it as a concert venue. I've been to quite a few.
Aye.
But I think especially, I think where we were quite lucky. We didn't really have any problems with that. But I was really interested in what you for someone with IBD who's got to go.
Aye.
What that experience was, because we've been speaking to a number of promoters this year about how to solve the challenge.
Yeah.
Because what you described there as well is something that we see all the time when you go to an event. The toilets are getting used by everybody, so it's like how to have that accessibility for you and others like you, and not have it abused at the same time.
Aye.
And it is a wee bit of a challenge. So hopefully as the conversations go on, we can work that out. But I think one of the things that we would like to do at some point, probably if we get a chance later this year, certainly into the start of next year, is start a little working group to see how we can develop that to make it better. Because that let's face it, that shouldn't happen for you.
No, that's events and like nights out. Nights out's a bit broad. Like nightclubs, things like that. Like things like gigs, any sort of DJs. That's always the hardest.
Yeah,
and it is because just that there isn't that space. Like the hydro and stuff like that as well. Like it's got accessible toilets and I got knocked back. Because they didn't have a radar key, and there was a member of staff like letting folk in and out, and I couldn't prove that I didn't have a care, I didn't have nothing, I couldn't prove that I had IBD, and I got knocked back, and I wrote to them, and to be fair, they wrote an apology, and they actually sent me a radar key. They got me one, the hydro.
Right.
But gigs like nightclubs and stuff, see, because toilets get like cubicles get abused for more ways than one. A lot of places take the locks off.
Yeah.
Or there's no toilet seats, or like the standards just mental, and don't get me wrong, I don't blame anybody, because like you would never think of that. Do you know what I mean? You would never think about like for like somebody that doesn't have IBD or any sort of condition that causes the symptoms that we have. You wouldn't think that you would need to go and do that at a nightclub at 2 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and it's it's well down the. It's well down the list of priorities for venue owners and promoters and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I think with the right people on board and the right conversations, we can hopefully get that up the list of priorities. Because it's not just inflammatory bowel disease, of course. There's there's lots of conditions that could benefit from a better experience, and you wouldn't have missed Slide Away or something like that.
I know.
But yeah, listen, that's definitely worth having a chat about.
For sure.
When we're off camera.
Yep.
So, CJ.
Aye.
Let's get into your story. Born and bred in Lanark.
Aye.
Home of the brave.
Literally. Aye, the metropolis. God.
So you were diagnosed in 2013?
Yep. So I took Noel in May 2013, and I actually took Noel. I had my first night of a flare up. Was at a mate's house.
Yeah.
So I was like having staying there for the night, and we'd had a barbecue, and the weather was good, and blah 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 blah, and then just during the night just woke up, and it was just this like massive amounts of pain. Going to the toilet loads of crazy symptoms. I'm like, what is this? And then just kind of spent the night in the toilet basically. Then got home. And
did you think it was just maybe food poisoning to begin with?
Well, it was funny because my mate's mum, like the next day, she thought she had poisoned us. Poor Auntie Mel. She was like, oh my god, like she felt so guilty. But no.
So it's fair to say we can say now, Auntie Mel, it was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. It wasn't fine, but it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't your fault, Auntie Mel.
Aye, the scram was good.
Have you been back for a barbecue since?
Yeah, I have. Okay. So we're all good. We're all clear. It's safe. I've tested it. But another couple of episodes like that, and then I think it was still in May. I had one in like a kind of like a sort of flared up sort of night, and I was couch bound, and I was couch bound for that was me. I never got off the couch, and I just like say I lost a stone a month, a stone every couple of weeks.
Wow.
Aye.
But you're, I mean, at this point
I'm just going to the GP.
You've not been diagnosed.
Not been diagnosed. Point. So this is the May.
Is lead in.
I got diagnosed in the August. So I went to the GP. It was terrible, to be fair. It was just like, oh, you've got a stomach bug, right? Sound. So I came back 2 weeks later, and I'd lost another stone, or even quicker than that. I'd came back, and I seen the same GP woman again, and she never even looked up for her computer to look at me. And we actually had to. It was great. It was fantastic. I really loved that. So we just had to basically hound them, and eventually got a consultation at Herr Myers, and I can't remember who I spoke to there, but that was the first time I'd heard the Crohn's, heard the inflammatory bowel disease, and she was like, "Listen, I think this is what this might be, but I'm going to refer you for scopes at York Hill Hospital." So I went in. My birthday's the 12th of August. I went in on the 15th.
Always about your birthday again.
It is.
Right, we know it was your birthday.
The biggest day of the year, to be fair. I know. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. So I went in 3 days after my birthday. Kind of, if nobody knows, like colonoscopy, it's usually an out job, a couple of hours. So I went in and I woke up with a feeding tube. So that doesn't usually happen for a colonoscopy, so just went in. I had to be put under a general anaesthetic for that, which I think they'd done at paediatrics at the time anyway, which I was grateful for.
Yeah, quite common. So
I was under general anyway, so they decided it was that bad when I was in there that I came out with a feeding tube, just because I'd lost so much weight and stuff as well. And like I said, usually in an out job, and I came out of the hospital in October, so I was in 3 months.
Wow.
Aye, 2.5, 3 months. Aye. Just that was probably the worst day ever, was the waking up for the scope. Just like obviously having cameras and having prodded about in there, just totally erupted my IBD. And it was that messy that I didn't know what it was. So for ages actually I was IBDU. So I was inflammatory bowel disease unclassified. Couldn't tell whether it was Crohn's or colitis or what it was.
But they were pretty confident it was IBD.
Pretty confident it was IBD. They just couldn't. It was so messed up everywhere that they couldn't actually figure out like exactly what type or kind of how to treat it. So I mean, you're what? I've turned 14.
14. Mm-hmm. You've gone for the scope. You know you're pretty ill. You've lost a fair amount of weight, to say the least.
Aye.
So you're sharp enough at that age to know that something's not quite right.
Yep.
You go to get the scopes, which is, I mean, I'm assuming you're seeing that as a positive, even though you must be pretty scared of it. I would imagine.
Aye, like massively.
Yeah. And you wake up with a feeding tube, and you're in a hospital.
Yep.
Scary stuff.
Massively, aye. No great. The feeding tube didn't last long. Just my body was just totally rejecting it. Anything,
really?
Just I got it taken out the next morning. I got it taken out. Just everything was just so inflamed that just having kind of something alien hanging about just was not working at all. So that didn't work. And then it got to the point where everything was so inflamed that my body wasn't intaking anything. I wasn't intaking water, nothing. So basically from the moment I got to the hospital, I was always on like a saline drip, just to kind of keep me hydrated basically. And I'll never forget it. So there was a doctor at the time, Paul Henderson. He came in, and everybody's kind of like, every day we're just like, what's going on? And they're just like, we're still figuring it out. You're like, I was put on sort of azathioprine tablets and different sort of things, that the usual kind of go-to drugs at the time, and nothing was really making a difference. And I don't think because I wasn't intaking everything at all, just like nothing was really working. And I'll never forget it. He said, like say, like Crohn's, IBD, it'll not kill you, but basically you've got malnutrition now. You're malnourished, and that could. and
Yeah.
and it's kind of like basically what's happening now is the malnutrition is working faster than we can get the drugs to help the IBD.
Wow.
So we need to do something to slow the malnutrition down to get your body healthy enough to kind of react to the drugs to kind of get you back on your feet a wee bit. And so I ended up having to basically got so bad I got my stoma surgery booked. It was like, right, we need to
So can see before you go in,
Yep.
see before you go into that, CJ, can go back a wee tiny
Yep.
bit. How were they feeding you if your body refused the tube?
Yep. So just trying to eat when I could. York Hill was great. There was guys that worked in the cafeteria and that, and I was always a wee bit older for my age. I've got older siblings and stuff. I was never really, I didn't stay a kid for long, put it that way. So like you get like your Rice Krispies and your kind of kids cereals and stuff like that, and I'm like, any chance of rolling sausage, like any chance. And they're like, the guys in York Hill were great with the kind of canteen staff and stuff like that. They would make me stuff, but I was eating it. I was eating what I could manage to eat, but nothing was kind of getting taken in, if you will. So I got a pick line put in. So I was mental, but this time I had a drip in each hand. So I was kind of like, it's like something out of like a Marvel film or like an experiment or something like that. It was just wires coming out everywhere, and then I was getting another one. I was getting a pick line. So a pick line is they take like they cut my arm open and they took like a vein out, and it's the vein that leads to like one of your major arteries. So they take it out and they clamp it, and they basically attach to the vein. They attached a bag of live nutrients,
Wow,
and a bag of lard, cooking fat, and like animal fat, and they pumped that into my arteries just to try and beef me up a bit. But usually that's a general anaesthetic job. I didn't weigh enough. I wasn't healthy enough to go under a general anaesthetic. By that time I was 42 kilo. So
you're basically nothing.
Aye, just bones, man. So I got a local anaesthetic, and I'd done that whilst awake. Which I think, I didn't ask Vicky about this, but I think that was a first. I think usually that's always a kind of, just because they're playing about with arteries and stuff, and that's always kind of like a general anaesthetic job. But I got that done, which was mental, and it sounds disgusting, and you're clamping veins and they pull it out and you can see it and stuff. That was the worst thing, getting that, because what they do is they put like a wire through the vein to like widen it, so that's in. So they do it like through an X-ray. So I was watching it all. So the woman's like, surgeon's like cutting you open, then she's using X-ray to feed the thing in, and it comes to about here.
You could see all that.
I could see all that, aye, because I was just lying with the cover.
Now when you're lying there, I mean, seeing something like that on the face of it would be really interesting, as long as it was somebody else.
Aye.
So you're watching that and it's you.
Aye.
How are you feeling there?
See, by the time the 15th of August came, and like you said, I knew something was up. I was just totally numb. I was totally numb. I was like, before that period, I was a total, like, I was like skittish. I wasn't really brave. I didn't like hospitals, didn't like dentists, didn't like nothing. See, when you kind of need it, when that's your only option, I was just able to switch off. And I can still do that if I think they know about going for a surgery or something like that. The usual, same as everybody else, like sweating with nerves, whatever. See, when I'm in there, I can just switch off. I don't know what that is.
I think you've, when it's the only thing,
Aye,
it's the only focus.
Aye,
you don't have the luxury of focusing on anything else and having a choice. Really, no, I would imagine.
No, it was the same when Paul told me that you kind of like, essentially you're dying of malnutrition at the moment. Like this would get you if we don't kind of act. And even then, there was no tears, there was no nothing. Like my family had that 3 months so much worse than I did, 100%.
See, well, you've touched on something that's really interesting. We speak loads about it.
Yep.
Is that, you know, I mean, 14, you're a kid, but you're not a kid. You're a young adult.
Yep.
Some of them like to be called these days.
Aye.
But you're switched on enough to know what's happening, and you've got a level of maturity that's probably more than your years.
Yep.
So I think when you're going through it, you just get on with it. Whereas you're that family unit is going crazy.
Aye,
you
mental.
know, they're going crazy.
Yep. Kind of like folks used to come into the hospital bed to like support you and stuff. And I remember like Vicky coming through and stuff, and it didn't matter what it was, whether it was support or
For anybody who doesn't know Vicky was your IBD nurse.
Aye, I'm a kind of like auntie and therapist. And
your auntie and therapist. And she's back in your life.
She is.
She's back
reconnected.
in your life.
The reason I'm sitting here today, probably in a couple of more ways than one. No, I know an awful lot to Vicky, but when she...
Don't, you'll get a bigger head.
I know, we'll not get her out the door.
No.
But arms. But when she used to come in and kind of comfort me or support me or anybody did, I used to be like, I'm fine. Like, talk to her and point to my mother.
Yeah.
She'd just be like distraught. So they had it so much worse than me because it just really was that kind of oasis I could find myself in and just. But I knew I was on the way out before Paul told me. That was so that's one thing through everything that I've never been able to explain. I knew when I was going to bed at night and stuff. See, when you were just like a bag of bones, you were feeling like it was mental. The worse it got, the less I felt. And the nights that I was really, really bad, the nights where it was like really, like sort of, like kind of ropey, just felt totally zen.
Wow.
And I came out of that. I think that's probably the biggest thing that caused we'll maybe go into that a bit later, but the mind shift change, the mindset change after that sort of 6 months, first year was just nuts. And I think that was the main factor of it. It's just like kind of just felt so close to death, but felt so chill, so zen. Was it,
would you call it acceptance of your situation?
Probably, aye. Which is mental.
I know thankfully I've never been in that position, hopefully. But I'm sure I'll get there eventually. Some might say never in doubt. But to have that mindset, I would imagine, would have imagined until I've heard you say that you would be lying there and you would be worried, you would be petrified, you would be scared, you would have worried for yourself, but also your family and your parents, all that kind of stuff. But you've kind of just went into, as you put it, a zen-like state of it, acceptance in the way you were.
Aye, and
not even like, I don't know, it's like kind of not even a kind of want to push against it.
No, I mean it's different though, isn't it? I think you're not getting like it's excruciating, but it kind of like that bit just becomes like kind of norm.
Yeah.
And it's not like say I've been like hit by a bus, I'm in the hospital and it's not looking good. It's prolonged, isn't it? And I always still now to this day I like to know absolutely everything, all the stats, everything about my Crohn's, everything that's happening. And I think the more understanding I had, the easier maybe that acceptance was. But there were so much things like the pick line. I couldn't go for a pick line now. Like if they said to me like, "Oh, you're losing a wee bit of weight, we'll get you one." No chance. I couldn't go through that. I couldn't go. I've such a thing now against like stoma surgery. I've like at one point I'd accepted it and I picked the stoma I was going to get. Like it's great when you're in paediatrics because you give you all different colours and I was going to have a camouflage one and I'm like,
so nobody could see it.
Aye, so nobody could see it. Aye, and kind of like, oh, you might have to get this, and I'm like, humour done a lot for me. Like, you need to get this bag, and they show you how it works and how to change it and all the rest of it. And I'm like, could I use this as a fart gun? Could I get into like a class and let this off or whatever? And like things like that. Humour got me through a lot, but. That's one thing I've never been able to explain is that kind of when it was really, really, really bad, that kind of zen. Strange.
It's mind blowing, to be honest with you.
Aye,
it's mind blowing.
Yeah. But grateful for it. That's the weirdest bit. See the whole thing
the whole last 13 years, every up, every down, more so the downs. Grateful for it.
Because but why?
Probably the mindset. To learn so young that life's so short. I mean, see people that some people will go to 80, 90. Some people never get into hospital, never get sick. I feel sorry for the folk. Genuinely.
What a statement.
I feel sorry for the people.
Why?
Just when you know what it's all about, how short it is and stuff. It's the things that the extra mile you go, the extra effort you put in, the risks you take. I mean, my papa, for example, that he was my best pal. We lost him a few years ago, and he died a mile from where he was born. He was born in the house, and he died in the house in Kifflebank. It done like, it went his holidays and all the rest of it and stuff like that, but very much like all he wanted for me was to, you know, kind of classic generational thing as well, you know, get a steady job, family, all the rest of it, and very much kind of status quo. I very much wasn't status quo after all of that, but because of that mindset, the things that I've done, the things that I've achieved, like, I keep going back to this. It was my birthday yesterday, by the way, if I didn't tell you. But, everybody kept saying to me, like, I can't believe you're only 26.
Craig, I think we're going to need to send it for a birthday cake for him.
Go on, Craig. What kind of place
would you call that the caterpillar thing?
Aye, Colin.
Colin, that guy.
But a lot of folks said to me yesterday, I can't believe you're only 26 and stuff, and I'm like, oh, cheers, thanks, I hard paper round. But I always kind of joke about that, but I think folk, like a lot of people say to me, the way you come across and stuff, that wouldn't have happened without all this either.
I think the journey does make you and mould you.
Yep.
You know, no matter what that is, you know, you've obviously had let's face it, without beating about the bush, you know, it's pretty near death experience in many ways. Mm-hmm. An ongoing health battle, because it's not always easy, and we'll go into that a little bit later as well. But before we move on, I mean, you've mentioned several times the mindset. What is your mindset? How would you describe your mindset?
The dog always needs out, or the dog always needs walked. Doesn't matter, like. So see everything that was going on in that sort of at that time, I'm lying there and I'm literally, you don't know if I'm coming or going. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's Pancake Tuesday or Sheffield Wednesday. See when my mum and dad went home at night, the dog still needs it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just the world sort of doesn't revolve around you. I think that's something that every single person has in common, is you think that it does, but time keeps going, and sort of life's too short. And I think it could always be worse. Do you know what I mean? I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
It could have not been. So I think, it does, like, when folk sort of this and happens and that happens, the dog still needs let out. Do you know what I mean? It's just like life keeps going, and you keep going with it.
Fair play.
But aye.
Okay, we're going to come back to mindset.
Right, cool.
Definitely.
Cool. And that changes, by the way. There's times, I've maybe mentioned this to you before, out with the podcast, like your outlook and stuff, like that's kind of general. That's how I always try and keep myself on track, but it's not as easy as that. That's the same for everybody. There's times where you go through kind of tougher times and kind of why me and all the rest of it, but I think having that sort of focus is important. Always something to come back to. I
think it's grounding.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no matter what happens, and I quite like your turn of phrase, the dog always needs walked.
Right.
You mentioned stoma. Your stoma surgery was booked.
Stoma surgery was booked, so PICC line's in, slowly making up weight. Doctor, I think it's Professor now, Richard Russell.
Good friend of mine.
Yep, so he was over, when I was in the hospital and this was happening, he was over in...
Sadly a Hibs fan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well.
Oh, Jesus. Well, it's got to be somebody, hasn't it?
Well.
So he was over in Australia at the time, and I think he was kind of doing stuff, and he was kind of involved a lot with infliximab and pushing that at the time, a biologic drug. I hadn't had a biologic yet, so I'd had all the kind of tablets, the usual sort of immune suppressants, and stoma was booked. Nothing was working. But at the same time, Richard had just come back, and like I was in the first batch of paediatrics in Scotland to get infliximab. So they're like, there's a batch there. Give it a go. He's got to get his bowel out anyway. Like,
nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose for them and for me. So I was just like, at that point, it's just like, aye, you've done everything else. Like, geese it, geese it. So I had 3 bags made up at that time. It was like, so you done one, and then you done another one X amount of time later, then another one, and that was your kind of loading dose. So like, right, okay, 3 bags made up, plugged it into the IV. First one, nothing. So that the stoma's booked. I've spoke to Mr. Haddock. I've spoke to the surgeon.
Mr. Haddock,
aye.
Now retired.
Aye.
Now retired.
So that's what I know how it's going to work. Everything else like that, I've known how to change it, all the rest of it. First bag of infliximab in the meantime, no change, that's fine. Stoma's booked. Second bag, no change. Like, right, okay. And you're having your bloods done, like I'm having my bloods done like every day, just try to find something that'll budge. Third bag goes in, we changing the bloods. I'm like, alright, okay. So bloods done the next day, still looking alright. They've now went back down the numbers, cool. So we postpone the stoma surgery, and I get another bag. My next one's supposed to be 2 weeks later or whatever. I get my next bag, it jumps up a wee bit again, postpone the surgery again, get another one, and things are starting to slowly move. So cancel the surgery for the meantime, and luckily I've never had to have that conversation again.
Wow.
And then I was on infliximab for 10 years. 10 years. So I had the first 3-4 years were pretty ropey. Then I had a good few years of kind of quite subtle IBD, and then I'll not get into this too much, but all of a sudden in 2022 my body rejected the infliximab because I came off another medication that goes alongside it. So I was taking both azathioprine and infliximab together, but I was having a bit of difficulty with the azathioprine. It was affecting like my immunity levels really. It was getting a bit too low. Neutropenia I was having difficulty with. So the consultant phones and he's like, right, just come off it. I'm like, right, okay, that'll sort that problem out with the bloods. What I didn't know at the time was that the infliximab was also stopping my body creating antibodies to the infliximab. The azathioprine was stopping it, sorry. So when I come off that, the next infusion I went for just didn't work after 10 years. 10 years. So aye.
So is this 2 years ago?
2022, aye. So aye, 3 years ago. So I've been, after that happened, I went into a flare and I'm still in it. So last 3 years has been, first 3 years rough, and then I had a good wee bit, and the last 3 years have been pretty rough.
Yeah.
Aye.
Sorry to hear that.
No. Could be worse.
Dog still needs walk.
Aye, Doug still needs walked.
Dog still needs walk.
In fact, it's a different dog now, but still needs walked.
How many dogs have you went through?
Oh God.
Don't go there.
No, don't go there.
Don't go there. So you lost a lot of weight. At that time. You were 6.5 stone.
Aye.
There couldn't have been too much to you.
No, 42 kilos was the lowest. I think that's round about then.
No, you've put this thing in, and I'm trying to work out actually what happened. So you've said that you'd lost a lot of weight, and then you pulled both your hamstrings in a booth at a restaurant.
Aye.
Now that just brings up so many different kind of things into the brain. So how did that happen?
So it was dead weird. There was a period of time in a hospital where my IBD went totally like what's the word? It's totally gone there. Basically, it was nocturnal is the word I'm looking for. It went totally nocturnal. It went. I wasn't able to sleep. I was like going to the toilet loads during the night, all the rest of it. Yeah. I was having loads of respite during the day. My bloods and that were still weren't good, but just the symptoms were really, really active during the night. So it got to the point where it's like, right, you're having this kind of good 6 hours in the middle of the day. You want to get some fresh air and stuff. I'm like, by this point, I've been in the hospital for 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started to get day passes. So we went to a restaurant, I think it was like, say, Frankie and Benny's or something like that, and you're sitting in the booth, but I'm like so weak.
Sadly, no more.
Aye.
I quite liked their meatball pasta.
I wasn't the biggest of fans. I don't know if this kind of experience put me off right enough, but so I was so weak. It was like, yeah, I'll go out for some fresh air, and usually it was just like get wheeled to the front door and then just get wheeled back and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't walking at the time, and then I was starting to slowly take steps and stuff again, and it was just like there's so much things. Like I remember just messing about in the room, and like my mum and dad like getting me ready. My dad like sprays aftershave, but he sprayed it like too close to my face or something, and I've went like that, and I've just collapsed, just like so weak, just like that sort of sudden movement, and things like that were happening all the time.
Wow.
And then
do you think it's incredible to think that how weak you must have really been when you know the movements like that are just not ready for 6.
Aye, mental. So like turning around too quick and collapsing, then getting into this booth, sitting. I've had my lunch, everything's great, and I'm on the inside, right? So I've got to now scoot across. Aye, so put my hands down, scooted it, slid across the thing with both hammies gone.
Wow,
mental. Absolutely nuts. Both hammies just totally annihilated.
Pinged.
Aye, pinged. Aye, nuts.
Absolutely rotten.
Aye, so I just stupid things like that, man. But it was crazy.
You've only moving for a wee while then.
No. So,
and the thing is, you're a young lad, and something that we quite often hear, you know, in the experiences. Get your pals at school, you're not going to school, and you know your friendship group's changing, and they don't, maybe some of them understand, and that's quite a tough thing.
Aye. So basically, out of the hospital in October, and right, you need to think about missed 3 months of third year, so it wasn't an exam year, luckily. Not that I'd have been that bothered, but sort of get back to Lanark, and then kind of like just build up your strength for a couple of weeks and then try and go back to school when you can. So I remember being out a walk with my dad, and a group of my mates walked by me, and it wasn't until somebody like recognised my dad, turned round and was like, holy shit, and then came like kind of running over, and it was just that was mental. That was surreal. It was kind of like, it was like having like an invisible cloak on or something, and you're like folk just like walking by you. That was nuts, and kind of pal groups and stuff were changing, but the mindset and everything shifting really kind of accelerated that for me when I got back to school, and I was doing my half days, and then I was doing my like half like weeks, and then full days, and then built it back up, back in, try to get to grips with, you know, where are all the toilets in the school, how long has it got to take me to get there, how do I even start to explain this to folk? I was quite good at.
Were you open about it?
Aye, but probably in a funny way. I used humour to translate it.
Humour's a great coping mechanism.
Great coping mechanism, but I think it like gets to the point where folk are like, "Oh, it can't be that bad. He's joking about it." There's that funny. There's that funny in between. Aye, but at that time it worked. At that time it was good.
Because you know there's a real spectrum of how anybody, not just somebody your age, kind of 14, 15 at the time, deals with that. You know, you get you'll have people who'll just no saying to anybody. You'll have people who have that kind of mix. Some people have got, you know, their friendship group that they can really, really trust. You know, they've got their tribe, and you know they keep it to that. And then there's other people that are just like, you know, this is it. And you know, so where did you sit in that spectrum then?
Probably 75% like, this is it. This is what I've got. I mean, you're 15, man. You just don't want to be walking up to like groups of pals with like lassies and all that, saying like, shit myself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's that.
I mean, you could see how you would attract the ladies for that part.
I know. So I kind of use humour. Closer mates, I probably explained a wee bit more, but I had a couple of mates come and visit me in the hospital and that as well, which was really good. And I think that helped. They kind of had my back a wee bit more when I went back to school. If it sort of got to that stage where it's like, CJ can joke about it, you can't. And like have mates like stick up for me a wee bit and stuff like that. That was good.
I like that.
Aye, that was good.
Oh,
really grateful. And I had like kind of school trips and that I missed out when I was in the hospital, and like teachers came in and like brought me back souvenirs and all that sort of stuff. So my school was great.
That's what I was going to say. How was the school?
I mean, really good for the times. I mean, when I get diagnosed, there was like 300,000 folk in the UK with IBD. I can imagine it's much more now.
Oh, easily 500,000 plus.
And back then it wasn't so much, oh, my auntie's Doug's cousins got that. It wasn't so much of that back then. So, which was actually quite nice. Hardly any awareness, right enough.
Yeah, I mean, you get a real mixed bag with schools.
Yeah.
We've got some schools who are absolutely phenomenal. You've got some schools who are not so phenomenal.
Yep.
But it's, I always think it's quite a hard thing, and sometimes it's about maybe the individual teacher, the culture of the school, or whatever the case may be. Most are super supportive, but it's like lots of them also don't understand. How can they understand everything?
Yeah.
And it's definitely a one on the list for us to see how we can educate schools and the education system and teachers a lot more. And something that we're looking at doing is like, if it comes to a charity, it's here's another charity, telling us how to do things or whatever, and that's maybe not as well received. No. If it comes from that kind of side of things. So I think what we're going to look at is actually having the kids put the information together. For
sure.
Because they'll listen to them.
And the kids will tell you what they need as well.
That's a big thing for us.
I only had a problem with one teacher, and it was I can't remember, my bad at English or something stupid, and it was like who's read this book? We'd read it like the 3 months I was away. Something stupid like that. Why have you not read it? I was like, I wasn't here. I wasn't well. You look fine.
Oh,
that was probably the first time I kind of blew my lid a wee bit with it. Like,
did you?
Oh aye.
What happened?
I just kind of stood up and told him what I thought.
Did you? Fair play.
Aye. So it was one of the teachers was just like he was always looking for that. Know what I mean? He's always kind of looking for who can I send out today or whatever. But it was fine because like I just get sent to my guidance teacher or whatever, who was really good. Dealt with it and stuff. But I think I was a throbber anyway. It was.
The teacher was a throbber.
Honestly,
well, that's a phrase we've not heard in Gutsy before. But we'll get that in the clips.
That,
we'll get that. We'll get that in the promo clips.
Aye, like a neon light.
So, how'd you go on at school? Was school for you, CJ?
No, which is funny because before the diagnosis, probably more so.
It was for you?
Yeah, probably was. I wasn't super smart, but I wasn't like I'd done well in like exams and tests and stuff like that, and like I kind of a good group of friends, whatever. But when I came out and I had this sort of mindset change, I felt mature, which was great. I felt like I went back and got on, except for my like inner circle of pals, I felt like I got on better with the teachers.
Really?
Aye, just sort of like folk that were older than me and things like that.
Do you think that comes from having older siblings, or like your experience is accelerated your
100%
maturing?
Yeah, 100%. I think I just like your sort of maturing and stuff just got fast tracked in that 3 months. That was just wild. And I went back and folk were talking about things and I'm like, I don't really care about things like that anymore. And it's like,
because you've got a different perspective.
Aye, and I went back and everybody's dressed the same, everybody looks the same, everybody's Mosbit and got the same Nike trainers and the same super dry jacket, and and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, I don't really fucking like my super dry jacket. I don't think why I wear that anymore. So aye,
you set your own trend.
Aye, it was a wee bit like that, and I was a wee bit like kind of like fuck the system, if you will. A wee bit. It was just kind of like I'd gone for this like near death experience to like, you need to be in maths for 10 o'clock to 10:50. I don't really want to be in maths for 10 o'clock to 10:50. I want more control of my time. So I was quite good about it. I went about it like the kind of right ways, and went to my teachers, my guidance teacher and stuff. And this is probably bad advice, because teachers will hate this, but I was like, listen, maths is like my least favourite, my least good at subject. I'm not going to try because I don't really like it, but I really like these other subjects. See, when I go to maths, can I no sit the exam, can I sit up the bank and study from other ones? And it took quite a bit of like convincing, but they ended up saying aye. I was like, listen, I'm really not interested. I don't want to be a maths teacher or an engineer. And I ended up getting like A's in other exams, and the ones that was going to get C's and stuff in, I just never sat them. I wanted more control of my time. That was a big sort of mindset thing.
There's a high level of maturity in that in itself, but
aye.
And it's good that the schools can understood that. But
Aye.
see the thing is, again, probably be unpopular, especially since we've got a scholarship programme. But I think overall, school's not going to be for everybody.
No.
Their talent lies elsewhere.
Yep.
And I believe everybody has got a talent, and
yep.
everybody's got a skill set. And, it's not going for 8 subjects a day or however many it is you go to, and being pigeonholed into certain things.
Yep.
And got doing maths or doing technical stuff or whatever. It's like, spend the time doing what you actually quite enjoy, and you can actually excel at,
yep.
rather than this stuff.
Yep.
And to me, that's common sense. But I think the education system as a whole is pretty, well, that's not pretty antiquated. It is antiquated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of schools running on a very similar timetable than they did 40 years ago.
Aye.
So no, fair play to you on
Yep.
that.
But like say stress and stuff with exams and that kind of made it more not for me. Kind of like
stress a trigger for you.
Stress was a trigger.
Is it still a trigger?
Not as much.
Is that because of your mindset, or because you just don't allow stress as much?
I definitely don't allow stress as much. I think that comes from mindset. Is like what's important to me, and things like that. Nerves are quite a trigger. I get really like stupid triggers. Like I can go from hot into cold. Like a temperature change could trigger me.
Really?
Sometimes. Or just like make me feel dead nauseous and stuff like that. It's weird. Stress was a big one, and that's probably stress and nerves with exams. But when it got to that stage, that's when I decided to leave school. I left early. I left at the end of 5th year.
Well, it's not particularly early. There's one thing before you leave your school years.
Mm-hmm.
There was a rumour that you had died.
Aye.
How did that make you feel? I mean, I'm kind of laughing at that because it's a wee bit absurd, but
I think that's kind of how I reacted to it at the time. I was just like, this is mental.
Did you play on it?
Aye, 100%.
Yes.
So basically what happened is when I was still in the hospital, before I came back, this guy had met my mum in Tesco, and he was like, how's it getting on? And I wasn't good at the time. She just burst out greeting and walked away. And this guy had just been like, shit,
he's dead.
So like his grandson went to school, so he told him, and like, that kind of spread and whatever. And it was the first person I seen again was a grandson. It was brilliant. It was just like sheer shock horror, man. Like the Undertaker, it was good.
He's alive.
Aye, literally. So aye, that was quite good. And then I just kind of obviously folk quickly realised I was needed.
Well, thankfully you're not, mate. It's great to welcome. You could have been our first ghost.
The first ghost. The gutsy ghost.
The gutsy ghost. Right, you've left school. Now, something you say here made me laugh. You've got a turn of phrase, CJ. I'll give it. Okay, that. I was a wee fanny before Crohn's.
Aye, I was.
You've actually written that.
I know.
You've written it. It's in black and white.
The best way to explain it. Aye, I was just like never took any risks. Didn't like roller coasters. Didn't like doing anything outside the norm. I was just like, and if that is your thing, you're not a fan. I just felt that at the time. But I just kind of wee fairy. I was like when I was wee grass in that day. I was a wee fanny.
Oh.
No,
can't have a grass.
No, it's not at school. More like my siblings and that. But aye. So like, say if Crohn's hadn't happened and I'd left the school, I think there's a chance that I would still be in whatever job I got first.
Really?
Aye. The mindset shift was that big. It was that big. I think I'd just look for like content and complacency, safety.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just listening to, we've mentioned mindset loads of times. You naturally keep coming back to that.
Aye.
Is your mindset that you've been so close to passing away, to not being here, that you've either consciously or subconsciously, definitely consciously now, but at the time saying, look, I'm going to grasp every moment and every opportunity for experience that I can possibly do, because you know what?
Aye.
The more it could be different.
Aye. It's just this kind of thing, like, I'm gonna die with memories, no dreams. That's the goal. If I can add it to as a string on my bow or whatever, that's what I'm going to do. Just go and grasp as much as I can, learn as much as I can, experience as much as I can now.
Fair play.
Yep.
Fair play.
Yep. And I think that's probably why I've done so much, why I've bounced about so much. I've not been feared to jump. And a lot of folk are like, right, you've got this job, you need to be in it for 5 years. Says who? The same when we went to, like, I'll get to this later, we went to Australia and stuff, and like, wow, you've done this. And I say this to people now that come up to me and say, you've been to Australia, or get in touch, what's it like?
Yeah.
I'm like, the year's a visa. The visa, is a year. Don't make you stay a year. See if you go and you don't like it and come back the next day. You're allowed to do that. The plane still goes, man. Like,
aye. Do you know the thing? It's kind of, it's a bit of a human nature thing. Like sometimes people want to be put in the box and say, like, but that, you touched on it, and just using the year's visa as an example.
Aye.
That lasts a year. But you don't need to do it for a year.
Aye.
If you like, it's cool.
Aye.
And it's like, I think sometimes people, I don't know. I think you've been processed as a human for that long, that when sometimes, like, people, they give you a certain parameters that they believe that they need to fulfil that.
Yeah.
And I think you've kind of touched on it. You don't.
No.
You absolutely don't.
It's the status quo that messes a lot of folk up, and I'll get into this a wee bit later. But someday, I'll just get into the now.
Just go on, you go.
Aye,
It's a free for all in here.
It's a free for all. But like, say, a lot of, like, the status quo just does mess a lot of folk up. I mean, I lost a really, really close friend when I was about 18, which I'll chat about in a minute. And that was through suicide, through PTSD. And he was in the military, and I actually was catching up with one of his friends later down the line that explained it to me perfectly. And he's like, you think about the kind of the structure, the process of life, like you're talking about, people are being processed. See, when you're a toddler, your social circle is anybody in the world. You put me in a room with another toddler, like 2-year-olds, doesn't matter what colour, what country, where they're from, they'll get along. We'll just play. That's it.
Aye.
And then you go to nursery in school and it's like a class of 30. Right, okay, cool. When you get to like 15, you find your wee group and everybody's like 6, 8. Then you start, like, you and your best mates start getting girlfriends, and it goes like
wives, and then it's like, okay, couples. There's like 2, 4, and then it's like you and your wife. Is that 2? Maybe you're, I don't know, this age will change between 30 and 50 at this point, right? If you think about people that get into the military and come back out, they've got that toddler with their social circles, the whole world. Then they've got the 30 through school, and then 16 whole. Oh, listen, it's a battalion, 400 brothers and sisters die for each other, all the rest of it. And you've got that 400, and you've got that you literally you eat together, sleep together, fight together, do everything, and you do that until you're 30, and you come back out and everybody's in 2s and 4s. You've went for 400 to try and fit into that. Like, that's how like it fucks folk up, because this sort of whole process thing is like try to dwindle you down into this wee box, and your box has been ginormous. Then you come back out into this too, and you're like, no wee box to go to, and then you find a wee box, and you're like, I'm no used to this. This isn't my life. This is like, it's just, it really messes folk up. I hate it. I hate it.
I've never heard it put like that. You know, for somebody that kind of was in the military, but it makes sense.
Aye, and there's loads of jobs like that. The military is just a great example, but there's loads of lifestyle things and stuff like that. It's bonkers.
Aye, I think you know, as a we are people attempt to processes, and I think society processes you into a certain way of thinking, a certain way of behaving, and don't get me wrong, you want to be, but essentially, if you're a good person, you're a good person, and you know, kind of do what makes you happy.
Aye, that's it, man.
You know, there's that many.
Your boat could be a circle if you want it. Just
there's that many people going through life. They're just they're not happy. Change it.
Change it.
And it seems like the most difficult thing in the world, but probably you just need to make the jump. Anyway, get a bit preachy. Don't want to be doing that. One of the interesting things that you say, we speak often on Gutsy about finding your tribe, and you know the people that are there for you. You know, you're kind of you can always rely on, and they can understand what you're going through to a certain extent, and you know, can be there. And you say that you found your friends through your experience. Aye,
definitely. Kind of before diagnosis, kind of like moving between friend groups, and kind of having one friend group that was into one thing and one friend group that was into like a kind of another, and try to figure out. And then when I came out of the hospital and stuff, it was just, I had so much clarity, and that these were my people, and you know, this is how I got on. And these folk, I knew there was folk in there that would take risks with me and would want to enjoy life and grasp everything and stuff like that. So I'm really, really lucky. I've still got the friend group that I had at school. There's loads of us. I mean, there's 14 of us out for dinner on Saturday night, and like a couple of them are away in different countries at the minute, and I've been away, but everybody seems to come back, and it's quality. It's brilliant. We're all just as bad as each other, but I really sort of found my tribe, and I fear I wouldn't have kind of found them if I didn't have the sort of experience that I had. Had I came back, and maybe would have bounced about, and I would have tried to keep everybody happy. Yeah, it was a pleaser. It was a pleaser, which no, I know as much.
I'm here to please nobody. Nobody but myself.
I'll apologise to absolutely nobody. But,
that's good for you. So you I mean, good solid pals.
Aye, that helps.
We're going to go into your travelling.
Yep.
Because selfishly, I love travelling as well, and I want to talk about it.
Yep.
But travelling for somebody with IBD, lots of our community are petrified of that, or you know, they're maybe not got confidence. They're very apprehensive about it. They maybe don't do it because of that.
Yep.
Or they find it challenging for a multitude of reasons. Looking at what you've been up to over the years, you've just went, fuck that, I'm doing whatever I like.
Aye, make it happen, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
It happen. So you, I still can't believe this actually, but I know it's true. You decided to up sticks and become a ski instructor in Austria,
Aye.
having spent all of 10 hours,
days.
10 days
10 days, aye.
on a slope.
Yep.
You need to talk me through that.
Right, so the year before I was diagnosed, I went on. In fact, the year I was diagnosed, before I took no well in the May and the April, I went on a school ski trip. I absolutely loved it. I thought this is dynamite. I'd always liked kind of like adrenaline sports. I used to race quads and stuff when I was younger,
Right.
and I loved it. Best 5 days ever at that time. I was just like, and the guys that taught us how to ski, I'm like, these guys are unreal.
Were they cool?
Aye, those are the guys. So then 2 years later, been through the experience and went back to Austria, another school ski trip, and like the guy that taught me to ski, down the line ended up working with him, and he was great because he used the humour thing with me, especially my Crohn's and that, because I go off the bus on the second trip, and I was like, I nearly died. I didn't even say like hi or nothing. I nearly died, and he still uses it against me. Will Stocks, there you go, you can get a shout out. Still uses it against me to this day. Like, oh yeah, we get it, CJ. You nearly died or whatever. And so done that.
But you never. So
no, I never. So that was my 10 days on snow, and then like went back to school, finished, left school, became a barber, done my time. Lost my close friend and kind of had an epiphany, and the barber shop I was working at the time, amazing place, told me everything I know. It was a family run business, and it'd been a family run business for like, I don't know, at that point 50, 60 a year. Like it was massive, maybe even longer. And my boss was like, this Friday it's 42 years since I started in the shop. And I kind of thought about that in two ways. I was like, that's unbelievable. Like, all that time, like, mastering your craft, serving, like, the local people, cutting generations of hair, it was great. But then on the other side, I seen it as, like, 42 years and, like, a metre square.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no. I think together with my Crohn's and together with losing the close family friend, that I was just like, right, I need to go and do something else. I love cutting hair, it's great. I've went back to do it a couple of times. So I up sticks, basically got in contact with the guy that taught me how to ski. How do I do what you do? That was kind of it. And it was just kind of the universe kind of came together, and it was like, we've actually split away for that ski school and starting our own this year.
So I need to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
You've had, I need to get this right, 10 days experience on a slope.
Aye, yep.
Right. Are you any good in 10 days? Surely you can't be that good.
I'm not that good.
That you would jump to what to actually instruct people.
I'm not that good, but I'm not that shite. But I'm confident.
It's a big leap to say, right, so I've had 10 days, but I'm going to start teaching people. Massive.
So
some might say either incredibly stupid or incredibly ballsy. Probably a bit of both.
Probably both. So text him, how did I do what you do? He's like, come out, we're starting our own ski school. We'll help put you through the exam and stuff. So I go out. The only problem with doing it in Austria is the exam needs to be in German. So it's like a course you go on. It's like, I don't know, was it like 10 days, and then on the 11th day you do all your exams. But this is like hell week. Like, they take it so seriously. This is like Navy SEALs, like skiing. So by that point I'm starting to feel like I've only done 10 days on snow. So I've done 5 days learning German, like learning the German that's spoken on the course, like just the phrases I need to understand. So I'll do the 5 days, 5 days of that, and then I go into like ski hell week with these like ski gods. So these are the guys that teach the instructors how to instruct. So this is like the top ski instructors in Austria all come together for like these courses like 3 times a year, and they put you through your paces and they just annihilate you. Now, the good thing about only having 10 days is everybody in my class had done like 20 a year. So they had to unlearn. You have to ski their way to pass it. So they had to unlearn all their stupid habits.
Bad habits.
Aye. And then I was learning from scratch for the best skiers in Europe. So like, and it was, even if I failed it, it was like, at the time it was like, I don't know, 1,100 quid or something. And I was skiing 5-6 hours a day for 10 days. It was the cheapest ski lessons I could get, and after the best skiers in arguably the world.
That's not bad holiday as well.
Aye, exactly.
Aye.
There's a couple of pints and that involved. So I did that, and I kind of like end up passing it. But
So it's all right.
so aye, that's what I done.
You're an average skier,
Aye,
right?
Aye.
Who then
At
went
that
to
time.
one of the hardest courses, ski instructor courses in Europe, where
Aye.
the cream of the crop had to kind of pretty much learn a good bit of German within a very short period of time.
yep.
And then you went and passed the course.
Aye, the day we done our exams, it was like 1% visibility. It was like one run open, so they only got to see about 3 seconds everybody's runs. It was -22. It was on a glacier we done it, and it was like in a storm, so there was only one run open, and it was crazy because you just got a numbered bib and you stood in this queue, and it just like you stood until it was your turn, and you just see somebody go, and then like a snowmobile, like ambulance go by, and because you couldn't see nothing.
Aye.
So we done that, passed that bit, and then you had to do like a German bit, and then you had to do like a written bit, and I didn't pass with like flying colours, but I've passed it, and I managed to pass the German bit as well. So like I got like my ski instructor card says like I'm like passed it, but I can also teach in German too. But aye.
So how's your German now?
Aye, conversational. It's not fluent at all. But where I lived and where I worked, it was kind of like learning Queen's English and moving to Motherwell. It was like, it was all dialect, it was all stuff. So even all the stuff I did learn, it just got like flung out the window.
What are you trying to say about Motherwell?
Aye, I'm a Motherwell boy. That's my team. I love it. But it just like that kind of like slang, it was just like all the stuff went out the window anyway.
Right.
Aye, German's pretty conversational.
Fair play. I think that's an incredible story.
Aye.
It's brilliant. But you know, when you're going to do that, you know, are you apprehensive? You know, with your IBD when you're going to do that? Or?
Aye, 100%.
So how long are you going over there for?
6 months.
6 months, and you've just went right. You know, you've phoned your mate.
Mm-hmm. How did I make it happen?
And he's gave you the guidance. And what have you taken any planning around your condition or no?
Probably no. Probably no. At that time, man, Flixmab had been working for about a year, and I was feeling pretty good. Just the kind of usual, just the usual prep, like before I travel. Make sure I go, make sure I've got stuff with me. Just like all sort of usual, just like, aye, make it happen. What happens if this happens? Right, I've got that. What happens if this happens? Then, Christ, something's telling me
it's not going to work for you.
It's really not going to work for me.
Brilliant.
Aye. So
you've done your season.
Aye.
But you used to come back.
Came back
for your infusions.
Aye, came back every 6 to 8 weeks for infusions. Aye. Didn't have anything set up to. I probably could have got it over there. I did look into it and stuff. I maybe would have had to pay partial of it, but I just flew back because the flights were that good. I was about 5 hours door to door. Like that's like you say about travelling and apprehensive IBD and all that. I've got more access to a toilet flying door to door to where I stayed in Austria than I would driving from my house to Aberdeen. There's more access to the toilet. It's more chilled out. There's no road rage. I'm on a, like, even if I don't drive, like I'm on a train to the airport, toilet, plane, toilet. Like, it's just about being prepared, like getting yourself. I can't believe I'm saying this, and everybody that knows me will be like, "You're talking absolute gash." But like getting yourself a bit more time. I'm not great at that because I'm like, I give myself a wee bit of time, but I still don't give myself enough. I don't like the tail to wag the dog. It's all about dogs.
Yeah, there's a theme here.
Aye. I like to be kind of control it. I don't like it to dictate too much what I do. But I definitely could give myself a wee bit more time. But that's about it. Like if you need more time, take it. If you like can't make a journey because you're not having a toilet, then do the journey a wee bit different. Like,
yeah.
If you need to drive, like if I need to drive, I need to give myself way more time if I'm doing a long haul because I know I need to stop.
Yeah.
So like 6 hour drive, 8.5 hours, 8 hours, like whatever it is, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And you'll be able to tell how you're feeling and stuff at the time and that as well. But moving to Austria, it was something. It was growing up. That was my dream job, like being a ski instructor. So I was like 20 years old and I'd done my dream job already. That was amazing. That was amazing. See, like passing that course and stuff like that, and like having the cared and stuff. That was brilliant.
Definitely.
It was so good.
Definitely. Would you go back?
100%. I've been back. I've done.
I mean, for the job.
For the job, I don't know. It kind of got to that stage where it was kind of like, I need to go and like be part of a company and do it a bit differently to make it like a sort of a salary, a living. It's a wee bit different. Like the first 2 years, just a total ski bum, man. Like we used to, like the guy we worked for, honestly done so much for me throughout my life. But like he organised the digs, he organised everything, and it was kind of like you would go in and we used to get our wages in cash, so you get your wages, but then he was your landlord, so you get your wages and then you pay rent and then you'd have like 40 quid and it's like, right, 4 weeks, and it was just like beans and pints and you're like, sound easy. But no, Austria was
as
good.
You do when you're that age. As you do.
It was good.
As you do. And Australia's been a big part of your journey as well.
Yeah, Australia. So that was that was unbelievable as well.
So did you just go on a tourist working visa then?
Mm-hmm. Just a holiday working visa. At that time, you still had to do like the sort of rural work to get like another visa, but it's not like that now. It's even easier now.
I see, but I did that many years ago.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to do the rural work.
No, not now. I started doing it because the rule hadn't come into play yet, so I was doing like construction work, just wherever I could, just while we were travelling about. But
we went in rural work for one day and just went, nah. We went picking. My pal went up the coast and he was working in this place picking squash.
Aye.
I'd never heard of squash at this point in my life, but it was one of the ones that the guy who owned the digs and they would go your shopping and all that kind of thing. You were left with 2 bob and a blin. You know, if you were lucky, you were lucky to buy yourself a schooner at the end of it. We just went after one day. Nah, mate. We're not doing that.
No, thanks.
We're not doing that. No. Fair play to the guys that do it because it's a tough graft.
I never done the farm work stuff. I just went and done like construction stuff, just labouring and all that. That's quite cool.
We did a bit of that as well. We did a bit of that as well. I ended up because in a former life I was a telecoms engineer. Some people probably laugh at that. It's a true story. I liked it. It's not bad at it. But anyway, so I knew about cabling. So I was doing loads of data cabling and stuff like that. I ended up with this job when we moved to Sydney. This company, they were doing, I can't remember, see in the pubs you get the puggy machines.
Aye.
What they're called something over there.
Pokies.
So basically they needed somebody to go around all the pokies.
Aye.
And basically in all the rural areas. So I had this job driving about, and sometimes they were plugged at the wall.
Aye.
Driving around New South Wales and all these different places.
Fixing pokies.
And it was amazing.
Aye.
And they were getting, the wage was really good.
Aye.
It was really good.
Aye.
Because at that time, I'm talking 2000, 2001, you were getting nearly $3 to the pound.
Aye.
Pretty much, well, I think it's 50-50 now.
Aye, 50-50.
But so you were living like a king. So
Aye.
you're up, I'm getting, these guys are paying me for going to see the country.
Aye.
And it was, I thought I'd won the lottery.
Aye, you need to do it like that.
It was phenomenal. Absolutely one of my favourite countries in the world.
Yep.
If not the actually. But how did you prepare to go? You know, and I think this is quite a big topic actually for me. And you know, we've got lots of people, lots of young people who maybe want to go travelling and, you know, that extended break, maybe, you know, take a gap year or whatever it is. How did you prepare for that?
In what sense, like?
You know,
like meds over there, or just like?
You've got your Crohn's.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a medical team here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your medication
mm-hmm.
that's at this point working.
that I going to Australia not working.
Not working.
So
right. So that's an even bigger decision then.
Mm-hmm.
So your medication's not working.
Yep.
Now that would put a lot of people off making that step for a start.
Yep. So May 22, body rejects the infliximab. April 22, do the visa. Do the visa, and then May 22, body rejects the infliximab, and then it wasn't until August my visa got granted. I had to phone them up because I put CJ instead of Cameron. So I had to
had to put the name your mammy gave you.
Literally. So I done that. I had to phone them up, and then the next day it came through granted. But in that period of time, I'll not speak too much about this, but my medical team here, well, one person in particular wasn't very helpful. I was told on the May of 2022, when I take bad news really well. Like, your body has rejected the infliximab. Great. So my answer is, what's the plan? How do we fix it?
Yeah.
What's next? It's no, what did I do? Blah blah blah. So right, cool. We're not changing that. Like that's happened
because the dog still needs walked.
Because the dog still needs walked. Do you know what I mean? So what's the plan? I'm sorry, you're going away in October. We've not got time to. That doesn't give us enough time to get you started on a new med. And I'm like, what? Just stick with the devil you know. So I was going, sent me for narcotic infusions. I could physically feel it. I was like peeing them out. It was just flushing right through.
Right.
And all this time, my levels, my disease just getting worse and worse. So I basically got to the stage that kind of forced me to go to Australia. I was like, well, this team here's this individual's not doing anything for me, so I need to start looking at Australia, and I need to be set up as soon as I get there. So it's like everything else that I've ever done, it's people. It's like, who do I know that's over there? Right, okay. They've got Crohn's as well. They've got IBD too. Right, okay. Who's your medical team? Great. Can I get the contact details? Aye. Emails? Yep. Come over. You get put on the reciprocal healthcare thing.
Yep.
Which is dead easy to do. You just look into it, you arrive, fill it out, phone them up. They send you a card. When you get the card, you phone them back and say, this is the number on the card, just to make sure you've got it, and that's you, you're set up, good to go in the healthcare system. And the appointments and all that are booked. Just the same as here. You go for a GP appointment, get a referral for an IBD team, and then you've got one. And that's Australia wide. It doesn't matter about the States or whatever. I could get my bloods done in Melbourne, Victoria, and get them sent to Sydney, New South Wales, and my team could see it all and that. And that I genuinely believe if I had stayed here, there's a chance I'd have a stoma. Because by the time like anybody had bothered to even look at it, my fecal car protecting, like my sort of poo sample, inflammation levels were up at nearly 5,000, 4,980 or something like that. So I was just about, I looked in at the time, IBD passport. I think it's even better now than it was then.
Yeah.
Just pinged it, just like went and found all the IBD teams I could find on there and just pinged everybody an email. And then obviously the kind of admin emails. But then when I spoke to my mate and his IBD team, that gave me like a direct link. Phone a hospital. So I mean, like, oh, it's in Australia. Oh, the phone call will cost you 10 quid. Even if it costs you 10 quid. You know what I mean? You've just paid £1,000 for flights and 250 quid for your visa, and what's do you want to go or do you know want to go? Make it happen. Badger folk, like, but in terms of the actual physical travelling,
do you know what I kind of I love about your attitude in many respects, CJ, and I think, and it's something that, you know, again, I think it's really, really important for our community, and some people are better at it than others. Some people, maybe it's a place that they can work on.
Yep.
Is that you, no matter what, through your journey, you've taken ownership of it.
Aye.
You've taken ownership of it.
To let it tail wag the dog.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, obviously there's a level of that you can't control.
100%.
But you're trying to be that guy who's proactive and you know, living life despite it. It's part of it. It's not going away. You know, that's reality.
Yeah.
And you know, and working with your teams, albeit you know you've had a couple of bad experiences, but you know, to make that happen, because that's how you can have that positive life, and you know, and do these stuff. So no, I really respect you for the attitude and how you do that, and I think anybody who is healthy and they're going to go and see the world and, you know, go to Australia for a year, or I know that you went to Southeast Asia as well, where, you know, in some aspects maybe the medical care's not as good, or it's maybe harder to access for obvious reasons. You know, you just grabbed it by the balls and just went, I'm going to do it.
But that's universal. That's no... Like, I give the same advice to anybody wanting to go to Australia or want to do anything. It's no because I got IBD that I need to go and do that. Do you know what I mean? It's just I think you've got
you know, it's people going to do that. You know, they would naturally. You know, I know a lot of people, millions of people that have done it, but you know, there's other people that would touch that. You know, and it's like, but with the challenges that you've got, you've still went. Do you know what? I'm going to make it happen.
Aye.
You know, and I think that's got to be commended. Best thing about Australia.
I done a 5-week camper van trip. Me and the missus, that was unbelievable.
Where did you go?
We started in Cairns. We drove up to Port Douglas, and then we drove all the way from Port Douglas to Sydney.
Brilliant.
Everton. It was brilliant. It was like crazy. First night it was like 90% humidity, and we were just like, what have we done? went for a shower, came out, dried, wet, like just like, what have we done? But no, that was unbelievable. The people we met and things like that as well.
It's the best adventure, eh?
Aye, we're going back out. We're going back out for a wedding in the end of September, so looking forward to that.
Aye. Where are you going?
The weddings, and well, we're going just kind of catching up with everybody. We've got 3 weeks, so we're doing Melbourne, Brisbane, Airlie Beach, Sydney, home. So the wedding's up in Airlie, which is lovely. What Sundays?
A level of jealousy I have. A level. Don't know when I'll be back actually. Don't know. I'll look forward to hearing about your trip.
Yep.
But any challenges while you were over there, IBD wise?
No, any different to here. So I think that's the thing when people are like going to different countries or travelling and that, they feel like they're going to a different planet. So like I said, that 5-week road trip, do a 5-week road trip here, same challenges, driving the same side of the road. Do you know what I mean? Service stations, the same planning goes in. Anytime I stop, make sure I go, like everything's the same. In fact, I had a much better experience, less challenges in Australia because my team were phenomenal. There was so much, the whole logic was run with common sense, and that, for me, that just unlocked everything. Like I said, I was on azathioprine for 10 years. I'm back on that now. After being told to come off it, I'm back on it, and it used to make me feel groggy. So I think a big problem here is you take whatever your team says is gospel.
Yeah.
It needs to work for you. It's like, even everybody with IBD, every single person's different. You need to,
of course.
You need to take the guidance, and then you need to shape it for yourself. That's probably the best bit of advice I could give. Is like, I got to Australia and it was like, they said, do you having any problems with meds or anything like that? I said, my azathioprine makes me feel a bit crap first couple hours of the day, maybe even just the first hour of the day. It's not a very nice start to the day. And they said, take it at night, sleep through the grogginess. And I was like, well, in my head I'm just like, my doctor told me to take it with my breakfast on a full stomach. And I'm like, well, I've been eating 3 meals a day, my stomach's not going to be empty at night time, just take it at night and sleep through the grogginess. I was like, wow. Consultations as well, it was like a full hour, and it was like 15 minutes Crohn's, and it was like, how are you? And it was like, right, okay, what are you up to? Well, we're doing this travelling and that travelling, we're going to do this like adventure, right? Have you thought about this and this? Oh, aye, that's a good point. And like, it was just quality of life at the forefront.
Yeah.
Wasn't numbers, wasn't this, that, and the next thing. You weren't like a number on a sheet or anything like that. And the kind of you could email your team. Didn't have to go and phone a helpline and then get triaged and then wait for a call back, and then with like if it was even in so simple, or if you had any ideas, like they were loving that. They were like,
Yeah.
what can we do, or what can you do? And mental. So you could email your team, you could email them every day, and then you get a consultation every 12 weeks. I came back still in a flare in November 23, and I never seen a consultant here until the end of August 24.
Wow.
And I had to go back. I phoned, I said, that's me back, blah, blah, blah. We don't see you as a patient here anymore. I was away for 12 months. So I had to go and get a GP referral and start again. And I've phoned Australia. When I'm going back over there, I've got an appointment with my consultant. My Australian man. When I'm over there on holiday, when I'm in Sydney, I've got an appointment with him.
You're so international.
But
International consultants.
But I've still got my consultancy over there. I've gone private with them because it's so affordable. That's another thing as well. I pay $135 an appointment, which is probably about 75 quid every 3 months. So £25 a month for a private consultant. No brainer.
Makes sense.
No brainer. It cost me hundreds and hundreds to get one consultation here.
People are currently Googling
Australian IBD. Honestly, and do you know what? They'll do it.
And something that's I mean, as I already says, I love your spirit, I love your drive and your mentality on life, not just around IBD. It's, you know, it's kind of it ticks the box for me. I believe in it. You're a bit of an entrepreneur, clearly, through, you know, kind of the different things you've done. But one thing stands out, and as Scots, this is important.
That is really important.
What about the Buckfast smuggling?
Buckfast smuggling. That was the kind of very first business. So everything that I've ever achieved, anything that I've ever done, it's all come through people. It's just people. It's the relationships. It's who you know.
Absolutely.
That's everything I've ever done. So I'm over. I've passed my ski instructor exam. This is back in 2018, and our company worked solely with British high schools. So British kids, British teachers, British bus drivers, the greatest guys on the planet, specifically sort of northeast England, Scottish bus drivers in general. The guys were amazing, and they used to, you know, we looked after them, they looked after us. You know, like they ran the kids about all week when they were here. We helped organise their weeks as well, and they would bring stuff over for us. So it was like, they bring you like square sausage, bring you bacon, bring you iron brew, the things you couldn't get. I was like, and I've been telling people, like, obviously I was staying in a house with people like 10 different nationalities and stuff, and like, oh, this is our drink, and we drink vodka and we do this, and I'm like, you ever heard of Buckfast? And that's what I drank growing up and stuff like that.
No. You drank growing up. You still drink it with your pals.
Aye, maybe. So you ever heard of this? No, nobody's heard of it. I'm going on and on about it. I'm like, it's mental. It's great.
So you're proper Lanarkshire boy, eh?
Aye.
Punting Buckfast. So I says to bus drivers, the Scottish guys that come out, they know who they are. They're fantastic, these blokes. And right, can you bring me a bottle? Great. See, next time, can you bring me a few bottles? Aye. I got a phone call. It's like, I know a boy that will get them for the cash and carry for me. So he's like, do you want a crate? And then this idea clicked. I was like, bring me 2 crates if you can. So I was buying a crate for £80. So then the school bus would arrive at the hotel, open up the side, all the Wayne's cases would come out, and there'd just be this blanket. And because they were school buses, they never get checked. They never get checked for being school buses. So blanket comes off, wine comes out, keep a few bottles for myself. Bearing in mind I've paid £80 for 12. So the way I'd been describing it to people was, it's kind of like a Jaeger bomb, but an all-in-one, because there's so much caffeine in it. So I was like, decent. So like I said, my German would go like kind of conversational. So I went round the Après ski bars. I was like, do you sell a lot of Jaeger bombs? The guy's like that. Aye, of course. So I was like,
do you know hate it how when you're making up Jaeger bombs, you do the Jaeger and then you pour in the Red Bull and you've always got that wee bit of Red Bull, because I used to work in bars and stuff, you always get a wee bit of Red Bull left and it's a waste of a can, and the cans are really expensive. Aye, pain in the arse that. I'm like, see this has got the like same amount of 4 Red Bulls in it and it gets you steaming just the same. I said, this is like, if you do 25ml shots, you get 30 shots out of a bottle, €3 a shot, €90 this bottle will make you, and I'm only selling it for 40. So so they were like, right, cool, like try it or whatever, because I had an app like back in the day, it was like Find My Bucky, and when you went places it tell you where sold it, and the closest place to like Austria was Prague. So I was like, brilliant. I'm like, it's like limited, like I can yield this. So I'm selling it for like 35, 40, 45 quid a bottle, whatever the barter was. And sold this guy a bottle, and then I went into that pub the next night. This is the first night, and I was crap myself because I'd done it, and I was all nervous and that. But the guy like took the 40 and gave me 40 quid. I was like, wow, because like I said, I was making like 40 quid left at the end of my wages.
Aye, you needed that.
So I goes in the next night.
Side hustle.
Aye, goes in the next night just for a pint, and the guy makes an absolute beeline for me, and I was like, he's googled this. He knows it's 7 quid. This is ridiculous. So he's made a beeline for me and he grabs me and I'm like, oh. And he's like, we had 2 tables in last night, they drank all the Buckfast, they were going fucking crazy, I need more. Like this. So I just like went back up the road, got another few bottles.
What part of Wales was he from?
It was in the south part.
Yeah.
So I sold it the first night, just these like folk from God knows where getting absolutely mental.
What town was it?
St Johann in
The
Pongal.
Buckfast Baron of St Johann.
Aye.
There's a phrase. No, I think this is an important question related to Buckfast.
Wow.
How does Buckfast, how does your IBD cope with Buckfast?
How does it affect you?
I don't have IBD.
It's still the same. See, if I was having,
I know. Also, to be fair, not a Buckfast drinker.
If I was to go and have like 5-6 beers or whatever, and I feel rough the next day, and I'm going to the toilet and all that, then it's no much more.
So just the same as any other alcohol.
Like folk are like, I couldn't drink that because my IBD, and then they would go and like drink a couple of pints and take like 4 shots of Sambuca. It's the same.
Just saying.
But
the people need to know.
The people need to know. Aye, just the same as every other bevy, unfortunately. Still
just the same.
Aye, share heed, share guts.
Okay, right. So I mean, is Buckfast getting the approval then?
It's not getting the disapproval. It's better to sell it than drink it. Put it that way.
Oh God!
But,
right. Anyway,
we
might need to edit this.
Aye, maybe a wee bit.
So.
Sorry, that was the first one.
Right, I mean, work-wise, you know, we know that, you know, your IBD journey has affected your attendance at school. You know, you've been hands-on and done what you wanted professionally. What are you doing just now?
So I work for a great business now. We like manage short-term rental properties. So whether that's
give them a plug, you know, say the name that's not the BBC.
Moment Stays. It's the Malion group I work for, and our first operational brand is Moment Stays. So we do apart hotels, like individual units, which is more your Airbnb like sized kind of stuff, and then hopefully very soon rural retreats and things like that as well.
Good for you.
So yeah, just kind of managing them. We opened up our flagship apart hotel in Edinburgh, just off the Royal Mile, in mid-February. Right. And it's been absolutely flying. So that's like 7 individual apartments inside one unit. So that's it's flying.
I mean, we all need to make money, and you know, we started off the show talking about Oasis. Did your prices go up? Did you take advantage?
To a certain extent.
So
it wasn't the kind of like 3-4 grand a night that everybody else was charging, but there's people tend to find in August people like to come and spend it's foreign tourists come and spend like a week, so they pay like a few grand for a week rather than just like 4 grand for the night at Oasis.
Right.
But
you never answered it. Did you take advantage? Yeah, so yes or no? The answer's yes.
Yes, but not thousands and thousands. No, most folk probably stayed not for Oasis. I think.
Well, it's the Fringe Festival as well.
Yeah, Fringe Festival is probably bad timing for Edinburgh City Council on that part as well. But no, I think most of our rooms kind of got taken kind of over the space of the week. But there would have been still the best party.
So you're enjoying it?
Aye, it's great. It's great.
Enjoying it. And then in the grand scale of things, even though you've done a lot, you're still a young guy. You've just turned 26. Birthday yesterday, I'm told.
Thanks for that.
When you've been working, have you challenges with your Crohn's when you've been working?
Aye. I think the challenge comes for like your colleagues, your bosses, especially understanding.
Yeah.
The real thing that I've had is the kind of paranoia that folk think you're taking the piss.
Yeah.
Because
you look all right.
Because you look all right. but that is true. That is so frustrating. But that's the thing. I mean, it's little things and it's big things. It's like you have a flare up and you've maybe like got up, need a couple of days off, and you come back, you look so sound. Like
totally.
that's bad. But then for me, it's the niggly things. It's the wee everyday things that annoy me. It's like I said, I don't like the tail to wag the dog. So I'm not going to get up at 5 o'clock just so I can go to the loo 100 times before I need to get ready, before I need to go. Like I give myself the time that I know I need. But like if a train gets delayed or whatever, like my normal day, like I'll get up, I'll go to the toilet a good few times, then I'll leave, get on the train, but then always I've got like an 8-minute walk between like Central and my work. I always need to stop. I don't know, I think a lot of it can be like a mental thing. A lot of it becomes habitual. A lot of it's like I've done this 4 days in a row, I may as well just do it again, but I better be safe. But it is one of the things, like if I was to no make it to a loo. But
sometimes the brain works in crazy ways, and you're right, the habitual element is definitely a part of it.
Yep.
Now you told me a story that was interesting, just on that kind of subject between running and playing football.
Aye. The mental thing for me is crazy. I don't know what it is. I can go to the gym now. I can cycle. Can I run without needing to go? I don't know if it's the up and down motion, if it's the impact of my feet, whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like I do not have access to the toilet quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the thing. But I always need to go. I can maybe do like 1-2k. Like I've seen myself the past year, like I feel a bit better, I'll get a shot down in a bush.
But if you're playing football,
I could play football for an hour.
You're a goalie?
No. I couldn't catch cold.
No. I'm just thinking lack of movement.
Yeah. But no. When I'll run non-stop for an hour at football. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because you make your sprints and then there's a wee couple of steps rest, or I don't know if it's because there's an interval. Or I think the main thing is just like my brain's just like, right, because I love football, I love watching it, I love how it works, I love playing it. I'm not that good at it, but I love playing it.
Likewise.
But it's like, right, okay, in my head I'm like analysing it while it's happening, and I'm like, right, okay, like centre back's got the ball, where do I need to be, like what's happening, like what's going to go next, who's in the space, blah 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 blah. And I think there's just maybe so much going on that I've forgot about it. It's the same. It's the same as well. Like I'll be heading to like a meeting or something like that, right? And I will be dying to go, desperate. And like the past sort of 3 years hasn't been great. Like I don't have that much time when I need to go. It needs to be relatively quick. And I can be like really needing. I go into where I'm having my meeting, and maybe I'm like, say I'm coming to meet you, but say I met you like when I came in here, for example, I went to the toilet, right? I was needing the toilet, so I went. See if I'd have met you at the front door, right? If I didn't see the toilet and have access to go to it first, if I just met you at the front door and you're like, right, CJ, come on, we'll just get started. We'd probably talk for 3 hours and then I wouldn't need to go until the left. But when I came in and I didn't see you, and that didn't, like, conversation didn't take me elsewhere or whatever, then I had the toilet there, I went. I was really needing to go.
Yeah.
But if I came in and started talking to you and sort of went on another sort of wavelength, probably would have sat here for 3 years and I went mental, literally.
Aye, definitely. And you know, you were saying about the running, but the run's a bit of a challenge. Are you quite active just now?
Aye, I am.
You try to keep that the exercise in your routine.
100%. It's massive for me. It's massive for me mentally.
Yeah.
The sort of weight fluctuations in my IBD throughout the years has been weird. I go through phases where like I can look at something and put on weight, or not so much. So, and I've always had issues with that even before Crohn's and stuff like that. If I don't watch what I'm eating, in terms of like calories, I will put on weight quite easy. So it's a big thing for me to keep me in shape, looks and feels.
Good. Definitely. I you know, I'm a big fan of the, you know, the physical benefit of it.
Yep.
I'm also probably a bigger fan of the mental benefit.
Me too,
to be
massively.
honest with you. And you know, we've spoke loads about mindset and your mindset over your journey, CJ. In that journey, you know, you talk about having that strong mindset. You know, we know that a lot of our community, a lot of our guys, you know, there's some significant mental health battles. Is it something that you've been challenged with over that journey?
Yeah, definitely. Probably like 2 major sort of periods. Just before I went to Austria, it was kind of a lot to do with the jump to go, and then lockdown as well.
Yeah.
The second lockdown. By the time the second lockdown came, I'd bought a flat and I was starting to work online, doing like digital marketing stuff, just because what you want to get out. I was just trying to make some cash, and I just been in the house and having been such a people person and stuff, that really hit me. Probably. I would take the physical symptoms over the mental ones every day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, aye, 110. And I think I kick myself more because I try and always have this mindset. I try and always
We beat yourself up a wee bit?
A wee bit, aye.
Yeah.
Oh, aye, 100%. Not even a wee bit, 100%.
Yeah. Do you feel that if you've no got if there's a got you in the armour of that strong mindset that, you know, you're kind of, you're not performing at the level that you should, kind of thing, or how does that work in your mind?
Aye, probably. It depends. Like, I'm also realistic. I'm like, if I've
because every day can't be
no, it can't be a winner every day. But like, no, I'm realistic. If I'm feeling a bit crap or whatever, I take a look. It's kind of like this comes from Vicky a wee bit as well, because I ended up with a flare through like burnout when I was younger. I had 3 jobs in the go, and I was trying to go to college as well. And then like on a Saturday, I'd literally work for like 5:30 in the morning till like 2 a.m. just over like the course of like 3 jobs. And I just obviously hit burnout. And,
anybody would.
Yeah. And I remember talking to Vicky, and she was like, I was like, what's been happening? Like, I'm just knackered, I'm flaring up, like all my symptoms are kind of coming back. She just said, what have you been up to? Or I was like, just working. How many hours you worked last week? I was like, 80. She's like, I don't really ask you any more questions. Like,
you're
just doing too much. And when I start to feel a wee sort of glitch in the armour or a wee sort of dip in mindset, I always come back to that. I'm like, what have I been up to?
Yeah.
I've not been to the gym. I've been eating shite.
Yeah.
I was out on Saturday. Or
but that comes down to being probably a bit of experience and a bit of
100%.
Quality self-management, saying, right, okay, what's different?
Aye.
And self-management is just so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, I think just human nature is like, no matter how strong your mindset is, you're going to have ups and downs. Especially, I would imagine if you've got your if you've had a medication that's successful for a long period of time, and then which often happens.
Yep.
You believe there's a reason behind yours. That it's not often the case. Sometimes it just switches off.
Yeah.
It's people need to find another thing.
Yeah.
They've been in a good place, and then it's like, oh man, I remember what this felt like.
Aye. There's that as well. I think that was quite a big moment for me when the infliximab stopped working. But not so much the medication thing, because for years before that I was travelling and I was flying home from Austria and stuff like that. So I was asking to switch meds before that. Like, could I go into like adalimumab? Could I get like injections that I could take pens with me and I wouldn't need to come home as often, all this sort of stuff.
Because you'd Buckfast to sell.
I had Buckfast to sell, enterprise to run. Do you know what I mean? I'm flying home for this. So like the medication, not so much. The thing that really got me at that point and kind of took a dip towards my Crohn's and that outlook is I've got relatively good self-management. So I always try and do everything that I can, just in general, just to keep positive.
Would you say you had a routine?
Oh, I don't know. No? Routine's been hard for me with travelling, for sure.
But just in general?
Aye, like just like kind of tick boxes, like, and don't make it unrealistic. If it's unrealistic, it'll not happen. Like, I just make sure I work out 4 times a week and try and track my calories as much as I can. If I'm going out on a Saturday night or whatever, I don't beat myself up about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, but when you can, like, put the work in, but don't set like, I need to run 100k this week and I need to just eat chicken and rice and stuff. Eat chicken and rice for a week, it'll piss you off. You'll not like chicken and rice anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's some folk out there that have absolutely crazy mindsets that's what it is, same thing every day and stuff. That's not me. If I make it too hard, I get annoyed, I come away from it. But I think that when I switched meds was that I do everything I can for self-management and stuff like that, and I hadn't really had a need for my team in quite a while, a big need for my team, and when I did, I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. But thankfully I had a really, really good IBD nurse and a really, really good IBD pharmacist, and they put together all my work to go to Australia, etc. And I managed to get in contact with them when I came back and stuff, and those two helped me come back into the system as well. So they've been absolutely tremendous.
Brilliant. We're going to go on to the quick fire round, which I never told you about.
I never told me about.
Yeah,
See,
but
that's
I like
me
to
nervous
like
now,
to
needing
know
the toilet. That's
you like
terrible.
to need a surprise. To be honest, with you, CJ, I could talk to you for another couple of hours easily.
Aye.
And we've kind of just. There's loads in your story that we've not got to. There's probably another episode in here somewhere.
Cool.
But what made me laugh and the kind of end of your notes is, but aye, that's the story so far. 33 countries, 33 million shites, billions of giggles and hundreds of adventures. Quality. It's a brilliant summer. It's a brilliant finish. And I think by the time we get you back on again, that 33 countries will be 43 or 53.
I didn't know what you were going to say there.
Oh, that's how it's quick fire's good. So we always kind of end the show in a bit of quick fire.
Yep.
3 bits of advice that you would give to the IBD community. And you've probably given loads within our chat, but you know, three quickos.
Number 1, just don't let the tail wag the dog. You've got so much more control than you think, even with your team and things like that. Don't take everything as gospel. If you need a second opinion, get it. If you need more information, ask for it, and build it your way. Take the guidance and inform it.
Yeah.
2, everybody's got stuff going on. As hard as this sounds, especially if you're in such a tough bit, you're no special. Even with the IBD, I mean, it could be so much worse. There's folk dealing with different things, more difficult things, less difficult things. Everybody thinks they're the centre of the universe. You need to, if you're not happy with something, you need to put yourself in the other person's shoes. You need to understand that they don't understand, and that's all right. It's all right that they don't understand. That like, it's no in mainstream information that there's so much stuff out there. Everybody can't know everything. So just put yourself in the other person's shoes as well. When if you don't feel understood, explain it. Don't feel that you should be understood. 3, make it happen, for sure. You want to go and do something, there'll be a way to do it. If you want to go travelling, if you get a new job and it's in Glasgow instead of the town you're in, you know, and you can't drive, take a train, take like the mere time. If you want it, make it happen. There'll be wiser about it. It might take a wee bit longer, but just remember it's not always going to be like this. A good day and a bad day are both 24 hours. They both end, which is rubbish for the good days when it's great for the bad days. It's just make it happen.
Solid advice. 3 things you're grateful for.
My Crohn's, my tribe, that's both my family, my friends, my girlfriend.
Whenever you mention your girlfriend, what's your girlfriend's name?
Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan. Megan's a nurse, which helps me a lot as well. So coming from that sort of understanding and symptoms and all that, I'm very, very grateful and very, very lucky. She's also the patience of a saint. I think she would need that even if I didn't have Crohn's, to be honest.
Really?
I think so.
I wouldn't wonder where that came from.
I think so. So no, Megan's fantastic. And so Crohn's sort of my circle, and kind of how small the world is now. The ability to travel, I'm super grateful for. Like I said to you earlier, like when I used to go to Austria, door to door, 5 hours, same as driving to
Brilliant.
less than driving to London.
Aye, 100%. Aye, and constant lavy.
Aye.
A constant lavy.
Constant lavy.
3 things that piss you off.
Events. Like the abuse and the standard. So like we spoke about at the beginning, that does piss me off.
Yeah.
Folk not using common sense just across the board, like in relation to IBD. Like obviously that will piss me off in general, but like like I do my best to put myself in the other person's shoes. I think like medical staff and things like that. It's the system. The system pisses me off. It's not the people. It's no textbook. It's not a thing that we can handle textbook. Just a wee bit more common sense. Not so much hoops to jump through and stuff like that. I think it would be easier for both us and the system.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Most definitely.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, well, you technically don't need
podcast
3.
hosts, I'll tell you.
Oh, they would push you off.
They would piss you off. I don't know.
Ah, you're allowed just to have 2.
Nah, I would just have 2.
Just have
I
2.
will take 2.
You just go down the league rankings.
Aye. The split in the SPFL. The split pisses me off. That's my third one.
I've never got it. I don't understand it. It's stupid.
It's stupid. The split.
How many other countries do they split?
Austria.
Greg, do you know?
I can't think off the top of my head now.
No, Austria have got a split.
It's as if we're trying to be interesting for interesting's sake, and it's no. Because it's mad because the team that's 6 can have less points than the team that's 7.
I don't want to talk about it.
What's that all about? Oh, well, as a Motherwell fan, you'll have encountered challenges with that.
Aye, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
I think Rangers might be there this season. Hopefully not, Greg. Hopefully not. We live in hope. Hope for the future.
Just health and happiness, I think. I know that sounds well cringy.
No, it's not.
Just no dramas. Dramas. Just hopefully the world can get along and we can keep travelling and experiencing new things. That's probably the biggest hope.
Brilliant. CJ, listen, I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours. You're a top lad, interesting guy. I'm sure so many people will be inspired by your story. I know that I just I've said it already, but you're just your attitude and your mindset, your can do, and how you kind of you've managed adversity in your life is admirable. So thanks for coming on, Gutsy. We'll look forward to launching it, and I will definitely get you back on.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cheers.
Perfect. Cheers,
Thank
man.
you.